19. I control the two-factor method, how to find the root of troubles. Welcome to self-development psychology. Once, when I went to give a lecture at school, a classmate said to me, "I have a lofty goal, hoping to become a scientist like my teacher. However, to become a scientist, I need to take the GRE exam, go abroad to pursue a Ph.D., read a lot of literature, and publish difficult papers. I also need to be able to establish my own laboratory. Any mistake in any of these steps will cause my goal to fail. Just thinking about these things makes me very anxious. I feel that what I am doing now is meaningless, so I don't want to do anything at all." It seems that he has a lofty goal, which seems to provide enough tension, but this goal has a very low tolerance for error. It's like a precision instrument that looks well designed but is actually very easy to break. The bigger problem is that this goal is not connected to his current plans, which makes this classmate very restless. So, how can we turn goals into the driving force for action? In the previous class, we talked about a thinking tool that can turn tension into motivation, the W00P thinking. In this class, we will talk about another way to increase motivation, which I call the two-factor method of control. The two-factor method of control, 2 steps. I don't know if you have heard a prayer called, "God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference." We can simplify this prayer into the two-factor method of control that we will discuss today. Strive to control what you can control, and do not try to control what you cannot control. The first sentence focuses on concentration and improvement, while the second sentence focuses on letting things take their natural course. Only by combining these two sentences can we maintain a positive and progressive attitude while keeping our inner peace. Why do we say this? As a psychological counselor, I have found that most people's troubles come from trying to control things that we cannot control, rather than exercising control over things that we can control. Think about how much of our troubles come from things we cannot control. We cannot control our past, our environment, or our family of origin. If your parents do not meet your expectations, no matter how angry you are, they will still not meet your expectations. We cannot control how others evaluate us, how they think or act, and we cannot control whether they like us or not. We also cannot control a basic fact: everyone will die, and we do not know when we will die. As long as we do not admit that some things are beyond our control, there will always be a picture in our minds of how it should be, and in a sense, this persistence of thought is an obsession with things we cannot control. What are the parts that we can control? If you want to exercise, you can control whether you wake up early or go for a walk in the evening, and you can control your diet. If you can't do this every day, you can at least control one day. There is also one important thing that you can control. You cannot control what happens to you, but you can control how you think. However, we are not willing to control these things because in our eyes, these things seem too small and cannot immediately change the outcome, so we prefer to let our temper go and think about the things we can control. The first step in controlling the dichotomy is to think about what you are worried about, what you can control, and what you cannot control, and focus your attention on what you can control. Recognizing that many things are beyond our control is a kind of mental maturity. In psychoanalysis, there is a term called omnipotent narcissism, which refers to the belief of infants that they are invincible. With the development of our minds, we gradually realize that the world does not revolve around our ideas. Only by recognizing that we cannot control many things can we focus our attention on what we can control. Perhaps you may ask, there are some things that have both parts that I can control and parts that I cannot control. What should I do? For example, I want to leave a good impression on my colleagues, but I cannot control what they think of me. However, I can work harder and help more, which seems to increase the chance of leaving a good impression on them. This way of thinking makes sense. In fact, there are few things that are absolutely uncontrollable or absolutely controllable. Many things are mixed together, with parts that we can control and parts that we cannot control. So what should we do?